We are thrilled to introduce our next speaker of the evening, and it is Hamud Mbarak, aka Pen Moodz. Just to give you a brief introduction of who Hamud is a lawyer by profession and a poet by choice. When he's not negotiating contracts, he's setting his pen on fire wherever the mood strikes. An advocate of truth, defender of justice, and storyteller for his communities, Pen Moodz has performed for Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, presidents of the Raptors, Masai Ujiri, and the Mayor of Toronto, John Troy. In addition, he has launched a campaign supported by the Los Angeles Lakers, been featured in Complex, Sportsnet, and many more. His captivating energy has gained him audiences as a public speaker with American Express, the City of Toronto, York Region, District School Board, and Canada's Elite Development League, to name a few. However, his passion lies in speaking with students and inspiring the next generation to pick up the pen and express themselves. And now we'll introduce to you the people's poet.
Thank you so much for the lovely introduction. It's beautiful to enter spaces where people pronounce your name correctly. So thank you and hats off to you. And since you brought a poet to the stage, it's only right that we kick it off in the only way that I know how. So with that being said, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Hamud, but I'm really Pen Moodz. And I'll continue to pen moods for as long as my pen moves, until my pen proves that I'm really pen proof. Now listen and observe as I carve every word and etch my feelings and emotions into every groove. Some sharp, jagged, hollow, some smooth. Painting pictures of allegories of different categories that I elude. Your journey with Max is only beginning, and our words of truth and positivity to be continued. So as mentioned, my name is Hamud, aka Pen Moodz. I am a lawyer by profession, poet by choice, poet by passion. And but before I even get into myself, I first need to give flowers to our hijabi hero, our dear sister Nabila, for such a wonderful conversation. To be honest, I could close my laptop now and you would have taken all you needed for today. So mashallah, thank you for doing what you did, our dear sister, for inspiring us, for inspiring me, and reminding us the importance of rest as we pursue our professional endeavors, as well as personal, and most importantly, our spiritual. So in terms of what my goal is today is to, one, tell you my story, two, give you a brief background with my experiences and interactions with Max. And inshallah, at the end, if time allows, I would love to share a piece with you, my fellow scholars and dreamers. So in terms of story, I am a lawyer. I'm a legal counsel at Soft Choice, which is a software hardware reseller in the technology space. And while, as mentioned, when I'm not reviewing contracts on the daily, I'm very privileged and fortunate to tell stories through the pen, to be the voice of my community, which often is the many people sitting on the other side of this camera. And how this all began really is quite a unique story. And I want to emphasize story because as you, my young scholars, continue on in your professional careers, as you grow and you graduate, the number one thing and the only thing that you do have is your story and how you tell it. We come from backgrounds where we're taught about humility and, we got to remain humble, but the only way that we will actually achieve and accelerate and be able to, go to the places that we want is if we know how to articulate who we are, where we come from, why we're here today, and where we want to go. So I know you're probably all wondering, what is this guy's background? I can't really tell. So let me dispel all these rumors and questions now. Well, I was born from the Horn, where my roots reside in Africa. I also, my heart beats to the feet of my Bedouin brothers and sisters in Yemen. So I'm both Kenyan and Yemeni. And through that ancestral background, storytelling is something that's incredibly rich from where I come from. And you would think, Hamud, how have you been able to achieve all these phenomenal things? it literally all began with putting my pen down, putting pen to paper, and starting to articulate my thoughts to the world. And primarily, this all started within the past 2 years for me, 2 or 3 years. During the social justice, what I like to call reawakenings, where we saw many things rise to the surface. And the impetus of Hamud turning into Pen Moodz all began with Ahmaud Arbery's story breaking on social media. So just to quickly remind everybody, Ahmaud Arbery was the young Black brother who went running one day and was gunned down. And why is this such an important part of my story? And that's primarily because I was also a high-level runner. I was a high-level athlete. So when I saw Ahmaud Arbery, I saw myself. And I saw it as a responsibility to now speak to his untimely demise. And after LeBron James caught wind of his story, I saw it as a responsibility to now dive in and understand exactly who this individual was. To date stamp everything, his story broke social media on May 6th, 2020, even though he passed away much earlier in the year. So after going deep and understanding who this individual was, I went to bed that night livid and woke up the next morning in an angry state. And I channeled these emotions in the only way that I knew how, where I wrote a piece called I Can't Breathe. And that was 3 weeks before Ahmaud Arbery was killed. I mean, that was 3 weeks before George Floyd was killed, excuse me. So when the world saw George Floyd utter those final words, everything went viral. My piece goes viral in both Canada and the United States. And it was during that moment where I thought that I needed to do more within this conversation around social justice, which is where I developed a campaign called Maybe If It Was Me. And the principle of Maybe If It Was Me to bring proximity into the conversation so that other individuals could see who I was as a Black Muslim, as a Black individual. And during this time period, alongside my lovely sister, we created this campaign where we articulated the meaning of no justice and no peace. Where we really wanted to tell the world, what those words really meant. And during this endeavor, we created the Maybe If It Was Me campaign, and my sister designed these beautiful t-shirts of no justice, no peace, which then caught the attention of the Los Angeles Lakers. So while during those many moments, I was in my room crying tears, wondering, what it was like to be a Black individual in this world, I had a second problem. What size shirt do you send LeBron James? And after many deliberations, it might have been a double XL, triple XL, I have no idea, okay? But during that moment, a lot of beautiful things happened within my community and within my own personal growth. We saw educational institutions start teaching my Maybe If It Was Me piece within their curriculums to grade 7 and 8 students. You saw many people purchase my shirts in support of the Black Legal Action Center, who provide free legal services to Black Ontarians across the province. And then we just saw the message of no justice, no peace being championed to the world, where we eventually saw J.R. Smith rock my t-shirt heading into the Game 3 of the NBA Finals in 2020, where the very next day, the NBA also posted it onto their social media pages as part of a paid ad with Louis Vuitton. But the coolest part of that moment was nobody was talking about the Louis V bag and everybody was talking about our shirts. So alhamdulillah, we achieved our objective of showcasing what justice and peace really means. So now to bring everything full circle, after that day, Complex reached out to me. They thought I was some fashion brand. I was like, listen, respectfully, that's not who I am. So after telling them my story, they thought it was incredibly inspirational and ended up doing a full profile of me in Complex. So I was on the front cover of Complex for 3 days before being replaced by Justin Bieber. So I like to think I'm in good company, you know what I'm saying? But since then, everything kind of steamrolled and took a different trajectory, where I was fortunate enough to do pieces for Sportsnet, West Hall's Black North Initiative, and eventually Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. And most recently, producing shows with Dwayne Wade and Carmelo Anthony with Slam and League Fits. And we have another show that's coming out, inshallah, next month with Slam and with Slam as well. So the importance and the reason why I share these things with you is not to flex by any means, but to showcase that me as a Black Muslim individual, as a Muslim who's also a lawyer, going to Nabila's point that, we have passions and things that we take interest in outside of our jobs that we should enter into as much as we can and tap into. And primarily because I want to bring proximity to you, right? Like, we as Muslims, and through Max, what we're showcasing through this organization that, mashallah, Azhar had the foresight to bring forth into our communities. And I know he doesn't like the flowers, but I'm gonna give him anyways. But also I want to give flowers to our community, for everybody who participates in this community. Because the reason why we build these things is because now it's our responsibility to transfer our knowledge, to share in this knowledge transfer. The way that I look at and how I describe it is there are two themes that occurred. Like Nabila, my parents immigrated to Canada. And the theme of our parents, of immigrant parents, is simply described in one word as survival. They had to survive leaving they had to survive leaving the known to the unknown. They had to survive new environmental conditions. They had to survive existing in spaces with racial and prejudicial undertones. They had to survive entering into rooms with people who do not look like them, only to provide us with opportunities to succeed. And mashallah, as you can see with how much scholarships Max is distributing to within our communities, you can see that we and you, my cohort who are listening today, are incredibly inspirational, and inshallah, we'll have more opportunities to see each other in person, because you need to feel this energy that I'm sharing with you. You need to understand that there is no reason why you cannot go and achieve these phenomenal things yourself. You cannot go and become a COO like Nabila, right? So proximity is the name of the game. And through this mentorship program, what I like to say is there's three things that I think through Max, we try to impart on you, right? And they are to love wholly. That means to love every piece of yourself. That is to speak freely, to be confident in yourself, to share how you feel when you may be challenged in both personal and professional spaces. As a lawyer for a publicly listed company that shares in conversation with both internal and external customers, I do recognize times where I am being challenged, and I must stand behind who I am as an individual. And third is to walk confidently. We see today that our identity as Muslims is being challenged in different areas. Some people are challenging our traditional dress, whether to stay on or to remove. And I want to impart on you, you must be extremely proud of who you are in every space and room that you enter yourself into. It's not to bring everything as a collective. Alhamdulillah, I found out through Max by a close friend of mine, Anika Ahmed, whom Azhar also knows, and she was the one who actually brought me into this Max mentorship program. And I was so fortunate to meet an incredibly, so many incredible individuals that ultimately led me to my position that I'm sitting within now. And this idea of proximity and understanding and seeing another, I directly report to the General Counsel, Senior Vice President at Soft Choice, Habib Sayed. So what that means to me as a professional, as a lawyer, as a Muslim lawyer, to see somebody achieve those accolades inspires me every day to become a better individual, to showcase that there is no ceiling for anybody, any one of us in this room, right? So alhamdulillah, I'm incredibly thankful to share this space with you. I know my young scholars are going to do incredibly exciting things in this world. And to close this, I would love to share this piece with you. And before I share it, it touches upon these themes of survival, right? So the theme of our parents, of the immigrants who entered into new spaces, was survival. They were surviving. Every day they had one goal, and that was to survive. But what I want to say to everybody listening here today is that theme is no longer the case for everybody who's listening. The theme of today is now to strive, to thrive. We must thrive in every opportunity, in every space, whether personal or professional. We need lawyers, doctors, accountants, engineers, coders, actors, creatives. We must see each other in every single avenue. And we must be able to tell our own stories. So this piece that I'm about to share is called Thrive We Must. And in this piece, I echo on those themes. I speak towards the challenges that we Muslims may face in our both personal and professional careers and avenues and lives. And what I want to do in this piece, and I previously spoke with Azhar, is I understand the importance of voice. I understand the importance of community. And it's incredibly important to tell our own stories. And inshallah, for the sponsors who are taking part in this today, who have done such incredible things in our community to support Max, to give these kids the opportunity to go and, achieve the phenomenal things that they will. Inshallah, what my humble ask is for those that resonate with the piece that I'm about to share, inshallah, I would love for we can have a side conversation to inshallah fund this piece and then take this out to TIFF. Because we as Muslims need to learn how to tell our own stories and tell them proudly. And I understand the power in my voice and the power that I want to give to those listening. Just like Rami has, just like Mo Amra has, and just like Pen Moodz will. Inshallah. So without further ado, let me get into this piece for y'all. I wish I was in front of you and I could hear and I could see your faces, because I'm a really big energy guy. Like, I need to feel the energy. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the energy to y'all, all right? So one moment. Bismillah. Longing for belonging, a place of comfort to rest my head. But slowly do I understand that the peace I'm searching for, the tribe I'm craving, has always been within me. So I open my chest to emanate the love that I love, the trust that I trust, the friend of my friend, the strength of my strength, the compassion that softens and soothes the exterior of me, of the man that I am, that the world continues to demand from. But who are you to respond when you can't hear your own call for help, the drumming against your rib cage, the beating against your throat, the lump growing like a stone that can't be swallowed? So choked it sits, nestled, blocking the passage of your voice, the roar you once had, reduced to nothing but a squeal. Oh, how the mouse laughs as you've now become equals. Fret not though, because the line never left. There's no taming of this beast, but merely a suppression of the tension to trot back to your natural, in the natural, while giving it all to the supernatural, the prime mover, the primed you for kingship in his kingdom. Some call it Middle Earth, but we see it as the dunya that traps us with allure of diamonds. That traps us with allure of diamonds that glisten. But listen, not all that glitters is gold, just like the old adage. So give flowers to those of ages older, for their wisdom lies in the experience the springs of youth can't bounce to. But bounce we will, with the knowledge shared to lead further, with the knowledge shared to lead further, with the knowledge shared to lead further, higher, to heights unfathomable, to the generations whose theme was survival. Yes, they survived, so thrive we must. Yes, they survived, so thrive we must. Yes, they survived, so thrive we must. So thrive we will. So thrive Max will. So thrive Nabila will. So thrive Azhar will. So thrive my scholars will. So thrive we will. Thank you. Shukran.
Wow, Hamud, that was incredible. What a story and what a piece. Thank you for sharing that. We have left some time for our audience to ask you questions about your journey. So I see we already have a question. Azhar writes, have you tried showing your piece inside a court in front of a judge yet?
One day soon. Listen, first of all, I hope if I'm in the court, it's me advocating for somebody and not on the other side. But two, inshallah, maybe one day, maybe the day has come. Azhar, you'll have to be with me. Who knows? Maybe we can make it happen. And I'll only do it if you're reading and reciting with me. Just know that.
That's incredible. And Maria writes, why did you get into contract law? And how did you deal with the long hours of being a lawyer?
You know, It's a great question. The short answer is I was following my sister's dream. She was the one who has a dream of becoming a lawyer. Alhamdulillah, I was like, that looks like a great dream. Let me piggyback on that too. So I followed her to law school in London, England, and just through meeting a bunch of individuals, I guess I always had a passion for commerce, and that ultimately led me to working and seeing experiences in both the investment banking space first, which ultimately then led me to working in a corporate environment, first an international law firm in London, England. And yes, they did beast your boy. The first week I was working, it was there till 3 a.m. But when you're young, you're very much excited to participate in those spaces. And while every day may not look like suits, it is incredibly exciting to be part of a profession that, demands so much from you as an intellectual. You're in front of and around so many people who are incredibly smart individuals that allows you to raise your game. And alhamdulillah, that's kind of the reason why I landed where I landed. And I'm thankful for it. Those nights where you're working super late, maybe less thankful. But you're always thankful for the opportunity and for learning and growing in every way and every day.
Truly. And I guess like you told your story so well. Is there a story behind the name Pen Moodz? Where did that come from?
Honestly, Pen Moodz, it's crazy. Like so many people ask me that, and to be honest, I can't remember how it came up, but it was just a play on my name, Hamud, and I believe that it was articulated in the beginning, like I pen moods, whether I'm happy, sad, in a state where my mental is being challenged. I tell those stories and I use my pen to speak for my communities. When the Afzal family, we saw their untimely demise, I use my pen to advocate for them and our counterparts, to advocate for our community and to show, strength in numbers. And especially like I keep talking about, Nabila, because I see her as a hijabi hero. I'm so humbled to even share a space and stage with her because she is the visible representation of Islam. Like to me as a man walking the streets, nobody will know if I'm Muslim or not. So to everybody who's listening on this call, specifically the young ladies, my young hijabi heroes, I applaud you, I champion you, and I want you to understand that I see you, and anything that we can do to uplift you, we will and we must, because there's going to be times where people will challenge you, they will say things to you, but remain strong, resolute within your faith, because that's the only thing that matters in this world. With God on your side, ain't nobody bringing you down, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I gotta say.
MashaAllah. And I know we're running a little bit behind, but before I let you go, if someone wants to learn more about you or your art, where can they go?
Okay, the easiest way. I'm not on TikTok yet for my young kids. Maybe y'all can help me set that up. Get me booming over there, but primarily I'm on Instagram, pen.moodz. Please connect with me there. Inshallah, I'd love to converse and, share more what I can do. And LinkedIn, Hamud Mbarak. And if you see me in the streets, don't be a stranger. I do not like when people say, Hamud, I saw you. No. Come and say salams to your boy. I do not bite. I'm gonna welcome you with open arms, maybe give you a hand up if you're comfortable, but I'm here. My message is, I'm open to you. Azhar, thank you for giving me this space. Max, thank you for championing me and championing our scholars. And on that note, I'm gonna pass it off because I know we got so many more people to celebrate today. So shukran, alhamdulillah, I love everyone.